Alrighty then. Audio outputs, you're capturing. Okay, cool. Alright. So, after reviewing past scrims and such, I've like narrowed down a list of things I'll be looking for and probably the next 2, 3, 4 weeks of scrims. So we kind of have a common theme to work on. The main points I pulled out are playing to the goal of our comp and minimizing the goal of theirs, fight tempos, pre-fight planning and alt tracking, and not only that, but doing it quickly, and then whether a fight is won or lost. Um, so I'm going to be trying to cover those as I don't want to like cover it on every single fight because that's just too much and takes too long. But majority of the time, like if it's something just glaring, then I'll talk about it. But I do have like some examples I'll pull up as we go through. I wanna do like 2 maps and then just talk about general dive, hopefully. So just for you, Laverne. Um, so yeah, Laverne's the only one here. So the rest of you guys are losers,
Yep.
slackers. Anyone that listens to this recording, get good. Get like Laverne, please. Um, I try to keep things to 1 hour. Admittedly, this one will probably go longer, but of course, it is an off day for you to leave whenever. But on any official day, um, anything longer than 2 hours, you're free to leave as you see fit. I never intend to ever do anything official over 2 hours, but I like to on like casual VOD reviews. I want to go more in depth on this one since I do want to talk about dive. So that's going to like take me over the hour edge probably, but I like to try and keep VOD reviews just an hour. But if they do go to 2 hours, then 2 hours is the max that you'll ever be asked to stay in anything for this team. So
Okay.
just for future reference. So yeah, those 4 points. So let's get started as we always do. We want to look at our comp and look at their comp. I believe this is what both teams stay on. So I don't think anyone's switching off and debating me. Let's see. Pretty sure this is it. Yeah, this is it. Any day, YouTube.
Fashion.
All right. That quality dipped right there.
We just need to get into left.
So I don't like OBS over in
Are we going
video.
left?
Bap, Mercy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Anyway. So they have Orisa, Diva, Bastion, Widow, Mercy, Bap. All right. So what their comp likes to do, Laverne, what does their comp like to do? Maybe.
They want to sit where they are and be able to deal as much damage as
Heck
possible.
yeah, that's a very, very good start. Now, there's a slight other element to their comp. They're not committing 100% to the sit in one place and deal a lot of damage.
They've got the Widow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they've got the pesky Widowmaker. So that gives them an inherent advantage, but also an inherent disadvantage. And these are things that, when we look at their comp, look at enemy team comps, we need to be able to dissect and see if, hey, do we need to make a comp change, or does the plan that we're rolling with, like the advantage of our comp, can we make it work against their comp, kind of deal. So you take the pros and cons of their comp, then you take the pros and cons of your comp, and you combine the two, and you make a plan. That's how strategizing works. That's how fight planning works. That's how Overwatch works. And so so you're right on the money. They want to do a heck of a lot of damage. So they're committing hard to not letting us do this choke, and when we do get through choke, to keep applying pressure, and then we can't really turn our backs because there's Widow. So, but again, going back to the that inherent pro and con that they have, they can do a lot of damage, but they're not fully committing to it. So there's a weakness there, as in if we can somehow play in a way that allows well, I'll go into that in a second. So the weakness is that they're not fully committing to the damage part. Um, all they have is Bastion as their damage
Mhm.
as far as up close. Like Widow can do decent damage. She can't do a lot of damage. Their threat is the headshot, but that's it. Her threat is the headshot in distance, but their core, which is a 4 man core up front on that platform, is very weak to being run over by 6 people. So you can approach it from, you can look at it and say, okay, well, if we get to them, if we are successfully able to get to them with our 6 man core, it's a 6v4 essentially. So that's the weakness of their comp. But the strength of their comp in that same vein is we can't turn our back to the Widow. So we have Bastion pelting us from one direction, and then if we look at Widow, Bastion shoots us in the back. If we try and deal with Bastion the wrong way, then Widow shoots us in the back. So they're playing a
Mhm.
really good misdirection. So it's a pro and con. There's a, you give up, it's a give and take, right? You give up something to gain somewhere else. So that's what they're going for. Now, what is our comp going for? What do you
It's
think?
kind of like Brawl, but
Hmm.
I mean, we want to be somewhat in their face.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got the sim to melt the shield, and then she wants to be somewhat close.
right. Yeah, you're right on the money. We are so again looking at the pros and cons, right? So we are a pretty good in your face comp. So what is an option that we may want to do considering what we just talked about?
We may want to try to go to the right to go up the
Yeah.
stairs to hit it from the, well, from this angle it's the left side, but
Hmm.
in our perspective it's the right. That way we can go through that doorway, minimizing the Widow while still hitting the Bastion in them.
Yeah. So yep, that's exactly right. And just a bonus, what uh what advantage would going that way present for us?
Well, I mean, we're just taking the Widow completely out because we're going to have that balcony covering us as we're pushing to the left.
You're smart, man. I like this. You're smart. I like you. That's exactly it. If we take that way, we take 2 of their people out of the game.
Mhm. Yeah,
So it's an easy 6v4. Like Widow can't shoot. She can't shoot into there. And if she
yeah,
does, her sight line is okay. She has sight lines to our Reinhardt shield. That's okay. Yeah, we can do that.
yeah.
We can deal with that. So yeah, that's that's one way we could have approached it. We came in with a set strat, which is perfectly fine. The strat was not bad at all for now, like for a different reason. So it's not like that's the only thing, but that's one of the things you can talk about, and one of the things you need to realize, and we need to realize as a team when we see comps. It's not just that their comp isn't just a group of 6 people. Their comp means something. Our comp means something. Not every comp is perfect. There's always a weakness and there's always a strength. You got to figure out what they're trying to do, and then see, okay, what can we do to minimize their advantage but maximize our advantage. So that's what you got to do, and that's what you got to do every fight. That's why everyone, we're coached to press tab after every fight, so we could see if they change comps. Because if they change comp, if they change people, then a variable has changed and they're trying to do something else. So we need to figure out what they're trying to do so we can counter it. Whether that be a comp switch ourselves or a gameplay, mindset change, whatever. So yeah, that is of the utmost importance, and that alone will win you more maps than anything else. All right. Um, let's talk about Bastion a bit. So in lower ranks, he's a terror. He's scary because he outputs a lot of DPS, but he's a freaking weak hero. Actually, he's not scary at all if played correctly. He has his weaknesses are he's immobile and he needs you to be up close. Bastion has a fall off range to where his damage sucks, and which is inherently where they messed up. So we'll look at it in a second. Like not just them. Like we played a decent. Like we played the way to beat their comp decently enough, and they played it. They also played it bad to where like their Bastion wasn't going to get anything done anyway because he was so far away. But so his weakness. He's immobile. He needs not only line of sight, but he needs close line of sight. But the line of sight is really important. And then he can only shoot, like, he can only apply a heavy amount of damage in one direction. So misdirection is really good against Bastion. If we were to, that's another way to counter Bastion is to split your team up into two and make them choose, like, make Bastion shoot one way or another, and whichever way he chooses, the other team pounces on him. That's another way to do it with Bastion. He's not the difficult hero. That's why he's not being played. He's not that great. Celery is calling me. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, cool. I was talking about something. Oh yeah, Bastion. Okay. And so again, that's another part of, and that helps you dissect what their comp is really good or bad at. Just looking at the heroes and the traits of the heroes, they are pretty immobile. Just Orisa can't go anywhere, Bastion can't go anywhere, Baptiste doesn't want to go anywhere. And then there's Widow Mercy all by themselves, and there's Diva. They don't really want to move. But our comp does want to move. So again, just another trait, and all those traits can help you figure out what we can do, what are our options, and such. Okay. So let's get to the VOD. I believe that's all I wanted to start out with. Yeah.
I have a widow somewhere.
So I'm not sure if you know. A lot of people on the team didn't, so I'll just make it a point to say it to new people. Do you know what happens after 15 seconds into a game?
Nope.
The enemy comp is revealed in your tab screen,
Gotcha.
which is what Volatile just did. That's why she knew. Like, I don't think this Widow's taken a shot yet, but she knew that there was a Widow, and she knew that because she pressed tab, which is everyone's job, but definitely support's job. Like, supports 100% should be the ones to do it after every fight. And just at 15 seconds, like, the tank shouldn't be doing it if he can help it because he needs to be moving forward. Like, I mean, we can all just be sitting around the corner and doing it, so it's fine. But supports, they have the most downtime, so they definitely should be the primary people to be doing it. But yeah, that's how she knew there was a Widow. So you guys know their comp by now because if you press tab, you see their full comp. And you see where 4 of them are set up, but you don't quite know where Widow Mercy is. It's fair enough. So we still move ahead with the TP to point strap. But remember, we also could have just gone to the right, especially once Widow was identified. If we had thought about, hey, she can't shoot us in here, let's go to the right and just run onto their team. So yeah, that's just another thing we could have done.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Good wall.
Then get behind ice cream truck.
Those
All
top
right,
got a
left,
widow.
straight ahead.
Widow. Far left. Get back.
So yeah, we're wanting to TP. Just primary goal for you, Laverne, as main tank, is to, like, the ice cream truck is shielding the team from any damage coming from the core. So you should just be shielding the Widow. I see you like turning your shield, just be shielding the Widow though. Because, like, I mean, just geometrically wise, you turning your shield the same way as the ice cream truck isn't doing anything. Like, you're covering less area that direction when you could just be covering this direction. So you would actually cover more in the same area that you're covering right now, just geometrically wise.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean it's not the biggest of deals there. Phantom, I know you may walled the Bastion, but there was no need to, right? We were traveling right side in here, so it's impossible for Bastion to shoot you through a wall yet. I'm sure Jeff will come up with something. Um, so yeah, we didn't need to make wall off because that could be very useful for when we actually get on the point, right? So now we kind of wasted a pretty expensive cooldown and pretty much the biggest reason we run maze for the wall. So now we've just kind of used that cooldown for no reason. We didn't need to. We were safe, and then we also had ice cream truck, so we weren't in any danger. And plus, we've got this chick, who is Bastion's worst nightmare, and actually their whole comp's worst nightmare because Diva eats projectile shots. Mercy's a projectile hero. Bastion's projectile. Well, he's hit scan, but you eat hit scans, shots, you eat shots. Arissa's projectile. Baptista's hit scan. Diva eats every single one of these, so they're not going to get any damage through if Diva's matrixing properly. So we didn't need your wall there, but all good. We get the points.
Bastion, he's not behind a shield.
So
Down.
now we get
Let's
to
go.
yeah, that's unfortunate. Um, a bit hard for you, Colo here. Um, when you this is so another thing like everyone should be doing and getting used to doing is looking at the enemy team and seeing who on their team is my job. What do they have that I need to be worried about? Unfortunately for Diva and Lucio, that answers everything. But big things are Bastion and Orisa, especially the Orisa halt. So you should be looking out for that halt and making sure that you can eat that halt if possible. Same thing for like on and nades. All that's hard, I get it, but you need to learn to do it, need to practice it, and get used to seeing those things because that your job is the damage mitigator, and you got to eat those. You got to eat those abilities. So we lose our flex support, unfortunately, but we get to the other way to beat this comp, which is Bastion relies 100% on line of sight. They screw up big time by letting us get the point, and we have these things. Bastion literally can't do any single point of damage to us. So they do right by having to contest us, which I mean they have to do. And so you can see what their thought process was. Um, their thought process was to misdirection two ways: DPS coming from this way, DPS coming from this way, and they were hoping to pincer us, but they didn't take into account for the fact that one, well, I mean, it's on defense. You don't know what the opposition is going to run out as. That's attackers have the advantage in TCP on point A. They don't know what we're going to run out, but we have um, so well. Getting confused 'cause I know how they should have run it, but I don't want to get into that. So the way they ended up running it was they took their own Bastion out of the equation because there's these on point that he can't shoot past, and so all we have to do is fight from behind these two. And not only that, Bastion's so far back that he's not going to get any damage because he's outside of his effective range, so his damage is going to not be much at all. And then we also have Diva and Kodo. Again, your job is everything, but when they have a Widow, especially like this, your job is to go dunk on the Widow. And you don't even have to kill her, you just have to stop her from doing your job. So you just have to pester her, because if she's being pocketed, you're not going to kill her easily. Um, but all you have to do is stop the Widow from doing damage, and the rest of the team, the idea here is to just sit behind the cover, and that way you take out Bastion. So it's already a 6v5 on point if you sit behind cover. If Kolo's dealing with Widow, then it ends up being a 5v4, and we're golden. And if Mercy's pocketing Widow, then it's a 5v3 on point in our favor. So we completely just stop them from doing what we should do. And we don't play it like perfectly, but we played it well enough to where we got point
Use lamp.
because we're dodging Bastion. For the most part, the
That
team
widow's just popping
is
shots behind.
sitting
Diva, Diva,
behind
Diva.
the pillars. So yeah, and right now you're in the danger zone, like as a main tank, because you're in the street. Um, they just think about their comp. They have to come to us, right? Well, think it's just 2 CP actually. We're on point. They have to stop us from getting point now. We own point. Actually, I can talk about a bit about uh, like space. So in general, in any comp, there is space that you own, there is contestable space, and then there's space that the enemy owns. And the objective and all that is to take over as much contestable space as possible and limit and take away the space that they own. So that's the general fundamentals of what it means to press W and S and A and D in Overwatch, is to manipulate that space. And with what we did, so like at the start of the choke, if we were just sitting here in choke,
Bastion.
the space that they own is all this. They own all of point A right now. All we own is spawn to choke. That's all we've taken over so far. And we did that by pressing W, and not only that, but they gave it to us. They could have spawn camped us, and we would own nothing but point if they chose to do that. But they've given us the space, and as you press W, we're taking over. We're taking over space.
We just need to get into left.
Call boost.
All right, we going left.
Bat Mercy.
Yeah.
They have a widow somewhere.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Good wall.
Then get behind ice cream truck.
Those
All
top
We got a
left.
widow.
Straight ahead.
Widow.
Teleport.
Far left. Get Bastion. He's not behind a shield.
I'm down. Yeah, ult it up.
Are people
Alright.
separated?
So now, we just yoinked this space from them. Or at least we now own this space, and now they're coming to do what we just talked about. Take away that space from us, is what they're trying to do. And that's what they have to do. The point of Overwatch is to take away the objective. And the point of being the defenders is to not let that happen. So that's fundamentally what is going on here, taking away space. And then just think about it. Just think about it like that. Here, this is all we have to do. We don't have to go chase anybody. They have to come to us,
Breaking lamp.
especially in their comp. So you got to put all that together, right? Their comp is stationary. Their comp can't move. And so by this, the perfect play is called by forcing them to move. That's how you beat the Orisa comps, is you force them to do what they don't want to do, which is move. Bunker comps are bunker for a reason. They want to sit there and do nothing. But we force them to be mobile, and that makes them weak.
That widow's just popping shots behind.
But us,
Diva,
like
Diva,
you
Diva.
leaving point right here, is playing into their hands in a sense, right? You're going into the space that not only do they own, but that we don't even care about, because we're taking over the space that we want, which is point.
Gotcha.
Thinking about, again, the weakness of their comp, and what they want to do. So you got to put all that together and be like, hey, I don't have to chase. I don't care. They have to come to me. I don't want. You don't want to get anywhere near this bastion.
I'm low, I'm point.
And yeah, you die for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm dead.
Widow's back right.
Winnable or no?
So, and that's all that happens. You're like, without, we did enough. Again, well, they lose here, not only because they didn't run their comp correctly, but the idea is their comp doesn't want to move. We force their comp to move. While their comp is moving, their comp sucks. Their comp is good when they're stationary. And so the fact that they have to move kills them. So, the Nox play ended up being the perfect play because we forced them to move.
I'm out of mag.
Now, there's a way they could have rotated and done everything to still be in their wheelhouse, but, whatever. It's in the end, the better team who runs their comp better and counters the other team
I'm dead.
win. So we're not going to go into
Sounds
what they
great.
could have
First
done. So, does that make sense so far?
Mhm.
Any questions?
Nope.
I know it's a lot.
I got notes.
Cool. Yeah, feel free to stop me at any time if you ever have questions.
Mhm.
It's not a lecture. Just feel free to make it a conversation.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Don't have to. This will probably be the last of Paris since their attack was basically the same.
Alright, we won that
Except
fight with at
defense is
least really
interesting
1 second
though.
left.
So I
Right?
may talk
Do
about
we want
defense
to
a
push?
little bit
Do we
on
want to
point
push
B.
with barrier?
So this is one of the instances where we didn't pre-fight plan until we're already at the door. We could have pre-fight planned 10 seconds ago. So just we got to get better at that. Not like when people are asking questions and bullets are being shot at us, something's wrong. We should already be decisive in knowing where we're going to go. So if people are asking questions, just back up. Just back up and just sit for a bit, talk about it, then go. I'd rather you guys do that than feed ult charge and go into a fight unprepared. So we see again. I haven't heard yet, but someone should have noticed that no longer Bastion but May, and then no longer a Widow but Kree. So that's us not pressing tab soon enough. That's on the supports for sure to start, but it's on everybody because anybody could have done that. All comps are revealed 100% of the time after 15 seconds, so anybody could have noticed that. Um, so with that said,
Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
think
We
it
want to
might be the
push.
play.
well, no, I mean that's
Cream
they
May.
switched off of Bastion when
okay.
McCree, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Expected.
like we're 25 seconds way too late on that. We could have figured that one out a long time
Be able to
ago.
be close to all.
And then Kitty's now all tracking, right? Way too late. So
He used
this
it
is
already.
just time we're wasting.
Left or center?
Go
Inside.
center. They're not.
So, but that's all good. So B, not B, but A, they just do the same thing we do. But I want to talk about
Yeah.
this is the first or second fight. Yeah, we just swapped. No, this is the second fight. Cause Knox has 60. Cause he wasn't on Reaper. There we go.
Probably Wall and Mayo.
All right. So they just walk in, do the same TP, and beat us on point A. Cool. I guess I should. Yeah, I should talk about how we should have defended that.
Pocketing with Widow.
Back Ryan.
Alright.
If Sim.
Sim turrets.
Doing the same
Just on.
strats.
They're going right side.
All right. So look at their comp. Look at our comp. All right. Should be the first thing we try and figure out whenever we can. It's harder on defense because they control the tempo of the fights now. Like they control when things happen because they are naturally attackers. So we don't have time to like sit back and make a plan. We have to be reactive. But also, then something we can help is how is our comp supposed to be played? We are running double sniper defense. So what that means across the board for tanks. Generally, you have DPS that sit behind you guys and help you guys make space, and then therefore you take space and help them. And they use that space to get picks. In double sniper, that's not necessarily the case because you have a Widow who should be off angling, and you have a Hanzo who can either off angle or stay behind you. But the thing you should take away is you aren't the playmakers anymore in this comp because you don't have the front line pressure. Like, look at what they have. They have May Sim. You do not win the front line here. Um, as tanks, your job is to just stall and stay alive, contest when you can. When you things get low, you back up, you get healed, and you go again, right? And you're just buying time, buying time, buying time, not trying to get kills, just buying time and putting in your damage when you can, but you're not trying to make a play, like so to speak. I never want to stop you from making a play, but you got to realize that your resources are going to get drained on the front line quicker than theirs will because they have two DPS that want to kill you. Like, they want to kill the tanks. They want to be in your face. Our DPS do not. They want to be sneaky. They want to be around. They want to be off angling. So you're just buying time. Like, the double sniper is a greedy comp. It's a greedy, heavy pick comp, and you're expecting and waiting on your DPS to get picks. That's the only way you win here. And so again, we're playing super misdirection. We have, like, if you look at what should happen, like in double sniper, you have someone to the right, someone to the left, because the double sniper should be making a crossfire. They should never be at the same place at the same time. They should be making a crossfire. And then you have a front here. So you have the core down main, or meeting their tanks. Then you have two DPS on the either side of them. So they're being crossfired on and being attacked up front. So from three different angles is what we're looking for. And you're looking for to suffocate them and to surround them. So and you got to think, okay, what does their comp do? Well, they want to punch us in the face. So they have 6 people on the front line. So our front line is not going to win that, right?
Gotcha.
So our front line will not win that just by attrition. Like, they're just eventually going to win because it's a 6v3 in the front line, 6v4, 3, yeah, depending on where Mercy is. So like, that should be your mindset is we as tanks don't win the front line. We're just buying time and waiting on our DPS to get picks. And yeah, if your DPS don't get picks, you lose. That's just the way it is. But it's going to happen. Some days they're going to get picks, some days they won't. That's just how it is. But that's what we chose to play on A, but we didn't play like it though, right?
They want your strat. They want your strat.
Pick me, Widow, pick me.
Can't get there.
Like, Diva is like, Holo, your job as Diva is to mitigate damage on your boy right here, right? You're over here in Mega, which is cool if your Reinhardt's not being pressured. But I imagine he's going to get pressured very soon. And then Hanzo, it's cool that you're here, but you can be in here where Diva is and have not only Mega, but then you have an easy fallback on this bridge to get healed real quick, and then you can go back. And you have, what we've talked about before, that inside cover, right? You have more cover on the inside than you do right where you are now in the open a bit. So yeah, like, it's not a terrible spot, but you have more of an off angle this way, right? So Nox is where he should be. It's on. I would probably say, well, it's like if your Mercy was with you. If your Mercy was with you over here, you'd be okay if it's just Diva, but your Mercy's not with you. So know that your Mercy's not with you and play safer. So if your Mercy's not with you, maybe be like down here, so your Mercy can easily get to you when she needs to. So just realize that, right? Realize that when you can go on those flanky flanks, they're risky, but they can be worth it. But realize that, hey, I'm alone. They have a Diva. Maybe I should play just slightly safer, kind of deal. So just realize what your team is doing, and realize, how that should affect your positioning. So we only lose here because we didn't play our comp completely like we should.
I got
Ryan.
Like, this is, that's a slightly mechanical issue. Like, you should have counter-charged there, but that's okay. Like, whenever you get charged, just counter-charge. You don't ever want to take a charge.
Yep.
So, like, Colo, right, you didn't need to be here. You would have gotten frozen, right? There's just zero reason to be where you are. Be protecting your Rhine. You can be protecting your Rhine, be protecting your Hanzo, be protecting your Diva, but don't be off in Narnia doing your own thing. You were in Mega for some reason trying to deal damage, which is cool, but your job isn't to deal damage first. Your job is to damage mitigate. If you're going to deal damage, then then we should just run Zarya, right? But your job is to damage mitigate here.
I'm frozen, frozen, frozen.
Let's...
I have to switch because D.Va diving.
So right, like if so, as D.Va, again, your job is to help whoever. Your job is like Lucio's. You help whoever needs help. So your eye should be on. You should always know where your Hanzo is. Should always know where your Widow is. Should always know where your Reinhardt is. And Baptiste. I mean, it's just you got to help whoever's in trouble. And so your Widow got dove, right? So if you were chilling with your Reinhardt, right, chilling in the middle and just being the watchful angel that you should be, you would have seen that your Widow got dove. You could have peeled for your Widow. You and Widow will kill that D.Va 2v1, right? So you could have peeled for your Widow there. Or you could have peeled, like you eventually peeled for your Reinhardt who's already dead. But if you were with your Reinhardt, you could have peeled sooner and maybe your Reinhardt stays alive, right? So your job is to be protecting and watching out for your teammates.
D.Va diving.
I'm just gonna die.
D.Va. I didn't see.
Alright, so we swap Reaper. So now we have a really front-facing comp. Like we're really good up front now. We match them pretty well. They have Kree. So again, D.Va, your job is to protect from whoever is being dealt with. Like, again, look at their comp. Who is someone I need to be watchful of? Kree is number one because of flashbang, and you have a Reaper. Reaper gets really hurt by Kree. So you need to be watching out. Hey, is your Reaper engaging? Maybe I need to help my Reaper, right? Or is Kree on my Rhine? Then I need to be DMing that Kree and helping my Rhine out, right? So you have to have a watchful eye and know what your job is, and be damage mitigating as best you can, as much as you can. And again, buying time for your DPS to work, because the job as tanks is to make space and buy time for the DPS to work.
Okay, then you'll have Shadow.
Don't feed deep.
You'll have like every ult but McCree.
And Phantom, remember, you can be so like, well, it's a team thing. So again, we have to look at our comp. We want to utilize all of our pieces best we can. Now we can, if it's a conscious decision, hey, we're just playing it straight up, we're going to punch you guys in the face just straight up, then okay. Like Reaper and Hanzo can play frontline with their tanks, and we just all see who can M1 the best. But we can also, right? We can also,
I'm behind him.
like we've like what we've talked about before, in the past, have like we let them in, right, and bait them into a spot where they have to either come across this wide field from our Hanzo spamming them from high ground on top of them, right? So that's like another option we can do, which we've
Bad
done
window set.
before. And this is another great opportunity. Hanzo could have been sitting to that left side over there, and we could have baited them in, like and forced them to either. So like we could have played, you know, well, we can play right here, but then know that we're slowly backing up, because then if Hanzo's sitting over there, they have to cross this wide plane to get to us, which means Hanzo, they have to open up their back line to Hanzo. So remember that we can play like that.
I'm froze. I'm low. I'm out.
So again, it's playing to the strengths of our comp, realizing what does our comp want to do, what can our comp do, what do we as a team want to do, right? So those are two ways we can play, straight up and just be more DPS-y than them, or we could play a different style and force them to make a decision. Hey, can we cross this plane and go to, do we want to risk opening up our back line to get this Hanzo, or like to let this Hanzo shoot us? All right, they have to make that decision if we play that left side with our Hanzo.
D.Va.
Watch out for Bale.
Shadow.
So right, but we're kind of playing into their hands. All of us are playing on point, and so it ends up being a DPS matchup, which fair enough can It just depends on just it's just whatever happens kind of deal, right? Do they out DPS or do they out DPS us or do we out DPS them?
Mine's low.
I prefer not to play like that. I like playing
D.Va's low. Good job.
I like the off angles and whatnot. So I would have suggested, yeah, our Hanzo like hold over here. We can start here, but then we bait backwards, backwards, backwards. And not only that, but our Reaper can also like he knows he can be flanking.
So bomb
And as you guys come in, Reaper comes from the other angle. Maybe Reaper is hiding over here somewhere. So now they have Hanzo up here firing down on them, and then Reaper flanking on them, while the team again is maybe holding this corner, and now they're being attacked from three angles again, right? And so we're surrounding them, right? So that's a realizing what our comp can do, and then realizing, um, and then just using the map geometry to make that happen. So, but yeah, they just end up out DPSing us, which happens. Um, I'm not going to. I don't want to go into like how they beat us because I would suggest we do something like I would suggest that play style. Next time we are in this, like I would prefer us to bait them into places and then catch them off guard. So that's a play style I would like to play. I wouldn't recommend us playing the upfront style, especially not with just the way the it is right now with the way like the way the game is right now with like May and Kree. If we're not counter Maying, then if we're counter Maying, then it's a different story, which we'll see on King's Row. But that way, I would have preferred us just to abuse the high ground like we usually do. But we didn't, and I think Phantom just forgot. And then our Reaper didn't flank either, which he just forgot as well. Because we've been doing it for the past couple of weeks. Does that make sense
Oh, okay.
at all?
Yeah. I think the Reaper did flank
Okay, maybe.
on that initial
Okay.
on the initial push.
Okay, maybe it did. Yeah, because the way it works, you let them in, and then Reaper should be calling, okay, push, and then the front line pushes, and so Reaper's on the back, front line's pushing. That's a pressure. They have to make a choice because Reaper does 280 damage per shot if all his pellets hit on a body shot. So he can easily one shot a squishy if he hits the head.
Yeah.
So they have to make a conscious choice. Do we go for this Reaper or go for the front line? And it's tough, and you have to make them. You make them make a play, right? And that's where you want. You want them to have to outskill you in that regard. It's not just everyone WM wanting and made the best team win. Nah, make them outskill you, having to react and having to think. Yeah, he can help with the fire as well, and help DM her up. Um, all right.
How do you spell disappear? Is it two?
Have a widow in the back.
That's a no-brainer.
I mean, you're obviously.
Is someone up top? Because I can throw a ball in your.
Smell.
They got Lucio.
Sorry.
Farah.
There.
I know that widow switches
Ryan.
Oh, kill this Ryan. Kill this Ryan. Kill this Ryan. Kill him. Kill him.
at some point. I think goes Kree. All right.
Is someone up top? Because I can throw a ball in the
All right, so looking at what our comp, right? Our comp wants to, our comp can, I should say, can one, take advantage of Maywall and a choke, so we should be flat out abusing anything that is a small area. So chokes are really good. This is really good. Any of those areas are Maywall points for us, so we should be abusing those. And look, that's what they call a kill zone. So when the enemy enters there, that's when we're planning on attacking. That's when we're planning on, um, you know, doing our thing. So that's part of one of our something that our comp really wants to do. It relies heavily on May here. Two, it relies on Discord. A Discord target is a dead target, very easily. So, and that's so like, we have our kind of target calling system that we're developing, and but sometimes that changes depending on who you have in your comp. And Zenyatta is one of those characters that, okay, over like his voice now rings a bit higher in this comp than say our DPS, because Discord to target is huge, especially if he is able to land the Discord on Rhine. Things that changes the picture of who might be the target, or if he lands it on a squishy, right? That changes, that changes things, because that is now a very viable target to kill. 20% extra damage from 6 people is a lot. So just think, just realizing, hey, what does our comp want to do? They got to hit that home. What does our comp want to do? What are we bad at? What are we good at? And then, so we can look at their comp. I'm pretty sure the Widow switches to like Kree. But they're Ryan Zarya. I'm going to assume Kree May, and then Lucio Ana. So they are again pretty front facing. Like they have this Zarya, so they do out damage us. But with that, they have zero high ground control. Right? Looking at again, what are the differences in our comp? They have no high ground control, so our diva can run rampant on high ground if she pleases. So again, that's another thing we can use, right? If maybe we have to fall back to point, diva can then just scoot herself up to this back high ground down there, you know, um, and maybe apply pressure from on high ground, and they can't do anything about it. Kree can shoot, but who cares? If Kree is pointing at our diva, then that's pressure that he's not being pointed at on our Rhine. So again, just things like that. All right. But yeah, this comp relies incredibly heavy on Maywall, and so, and then also the other thing I wanted to get into, like the main points that I want to look in for all of these VOD reviews from the future, tempo, and tempo is like when momentum, you can feel and see the momentum being won and lost in a fight, and they do a really good job on our attack when we coalescence. They see that they're losing tempo and they back off, and so they may let us get the tick, but they know that they can retake because they have something else that can shift tempo, which is nano. So they retake with nano, right, and they regain tempo. So tempo is, you can just think of it like resources, like in the terms of, okay, we burned a lot of resources. Health is a resource as well. Like, is our health low? Have we used our win conditions up, like Maywall? Have we used Maywall? Okay, did it work? No. Okay, tempo, we're losing tempo, you could so to speak, because now we're down a pretty valuable resource. Is our Moira out of heals? Okay, maybe we're losing tempo in that case. Is Ryan shield low? Okay, we're losing tempo in that case, right? All those things point to, okay, we need to play slow. That's when you may hear me make a call, play slow, or your supports play slow, because we're losing a bit of tempo, and so we just want to play slow, back up a bit, and so we can regain some of our resources, so we can retake, re-aggress in that fight. So
Yep.
that's one of the things I really want to look at
Smell
here.
Lucio.
Sorry.
Like, what happens? Like, do we lose fights because maybe we could have backed up a bit and chilled, and then have regained
No.
the momentum in the fight? So,
Ryan,
but
Ryan.
here we get a May wall. This Ryan
Ryan, kill this,
dies.
Ryan, kill this, Ryan, kill
Well,
this,
every
Ryan, kill him,
100% of the
kill
time.
him.
So you guys aggressed perfectly.
You purple.
Ryan dead.
Yeah, and so
Dead.
that's
I
the
got that.
example of our win condition was met. We May walled and they die.
I'm
It's
asleep.
just simple as that.
Zarya.
Sorry, one,
Asleep,
sorry,
I'm
one,
asleep.
sorry,
They have a widow in the back. Can you dive that widow? By chance?
Where's he?
Diva?
A hotel.
So, another thing is a fight. So there are stages to fights. There's scouting. There's the poke phase, and then there's the combat phase. Knowing and feeling, and all that's part of tempo, right? Knowing what phase the fight is important because that determines what you guys can do in the scouting phase. That's when you can talk about all track and pre-fight planning, and then in the poke phase is where we're if you're on defense, you're trying to wear out resources from a distance, and if you're attacking, you're trying to travel to get to the defense, so to speak. So all that's a poke phase. What phase would you think that we're in right now?
Sort of the end to um, sort of beginning the next fight. I mean, both teams lost two. I mean, we just lost two, but their Rhine is coming back, so it's kind of like the scouting phase of the next fight.
Exactly. Right. You're exactly right. So yeah, the fight's over. They have given up the fight for now. Again, they saw that the temple was dead and they left. But we do something we call the dive widow in the scouting phase. Very dangerous, very bad, and that pretty sure that cost us this fight. Um, we do a very aggressive move in the scouting phase, um, which leads to our diva eventually getting isolated. So that
Turn
was
an orbit, you two.
like because like okay, dive widow, why? No one the other team isn't doing anything right now. So we could just hide. There's no reason for us to go dive widow. She is of no threat, right? Why dive a target that's not a threat just yet? You don't even see the rest of their team. They're still back here somewhere. You don't see the rest of their team. Widow's not a threat. She can't do anything. And if you were to get in trouble, no one can help you. So it was not the
Alright,
smartest of
I'm
calls.
come back. Oh, she's up again. She's up again. She's.
And
Hello.
Phantom knows he messed up. uh, Widow and Hanzo are the heroes that thrive in the poke phase, in the scouting phase, because they're the ones that can cheat and make it a combat phase because they're snipers. They as far as they're concerned, it's combat phase because they can get a pick. Squall Squishy should know you don't peek a Widow during the scouting phase, so he gets shot there.
Should not have peeked. I did not expect
I mean he
Alright,
knows it.
coming back.
But because we decided to dive in the scouting phase, in the phase that the offense uses to travel, our diva gets left behind. Right? They're traveling. Our diva can't get back in time, and so our diva just she gets isolated.
Kind of fade.
I just
You know,
got
Brian.
destroyed and P-Max.
Me.
Mid dead. Dodgy point.
Widow's next to hotel. Other side.
I got one. Oh,
Oh, I'm
he's
dead.
Ryan.
Ryan discarded. Ryan dead.
So Ryan dies because of Discord. So you can watch this fight and see
I should not have.
like tempo is dead for us, so we need to just chill. Like it's okay for all squishies to just leave because we can retake. They haven't started capping point. There's time.
Alright, coming back.
Like we're putting ourselves in unnecessary danger. You're coming back soon, right? We need to realize the tempo is dead, so just leave.
Kind of fade.
I just
You know,
got
Brian.
destroyed and P-Max.
me.
Mid dead. Dodgy point.
Widow's next to hotel. Other side.
Alright, so now Ryan's back. He has full shield. We got to pick tempo shift, right? The tempo has shifted here. Now we can maybe think about aggressing a little bit, right? We are we have lost our diva, but they have lost their Mei, so we're 1-1 here. And so just realize, okay, the loss of diva means loss of damage mitigation, and a lot of diva does do a lot of frontline damage, so our front line's a little bit weak, right? So we need to change the way that we play a bit. Just like you as a main tank knows that I'm the only tank. I'm going to be taking a hell of a lot more damage now. That changes the way you play, but then the support should know, okay, like Ryan's going to take a lot of damage, so get ready to pocket the hell out of him. Nox can play, okay, I need to either apply a lot of pressure to the front line in a way, or I could take an off angle and like relieve pressure that way. Like there's different ways to relieve the pressure from our front line. Like if he plays behind you, then think about it. All the fire is coming towards you, right? Because the whole team is behind you. But imagine if maybe he off angled a bit. Now some of the fire is going towards him and off of you. So that's a pressure reliever, right? So they can think of it that way. But so yeah, we have Maywall, and still the condition for our comp is still Maywall and Discord, so those two are still alive, so it's still winnable. So but anyway, the tempo is back in our favor here,
Oh, I'm dead.
and
Ryan.
the Discorded Ryan, he gets obliterated because of Discord.
Discarded. Ryan dead.
Again, tempo shift. Tempo is super in our favor, so we can just like you can see how the back and forth. Like, can you see the back and forth of that match? They had us, and so we had to back up. But then you came back. None of us died in that time besides the Colo throwing. And then we re-aggressed. And we re-aggressed with Discord, because that's what it does. Reinhardt, I mean, you guys, Reinhardt knows if you're discorded, you can't swing because it hurts. So like a discorded, like a discord on the opposing tank is heaven for our tank, and so that helps again swing the tempo, because now they're pretty much down a tank. Like Ryan can't swing, if especially if our DPS are alive, he can't swing, and he tried to swing and he dies.
Anna.
Anna, yeah.
And so we re-aggress here and we win the fight.
Oh, widow.
So we unintentionally, like,
Get behind shield.
I mean, I know, like, everyone probably felt that tempo swing, but no one could probably
Grapple.
say exactly why, like what it was, but that's what happens.
I'm gonna go position myself like that.
Almost.
All right, tempo shift. We missed our main wall, so tempo has shifted. Maybe we can play here
Where's Widow?
because hey, they haven't done anything yet, but know that okay, it's very easy for us to fall back. Like maybe we can fight here, but then after some initial swings, maybe we want to, like, as a team, just fall back to the next corner, because by the time we get to the next corner, we'll have Maywall again, so we can try again, and then the second win condition for us is Discord, so we can still, look for opportunity with Discord. So, both our win conditions are still alive here, so we're still good. Like, just because we miss Maywall, it's not the end of the world. It just means that one of our win conditions is down. We look for the next one, which is Discord, but also know that the tempo has shifted. So now it's okay for us to just back up a bit if we have to. Does that make sense?
No clue.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
So tempo is really shifted now. You're walled off. You and May and your Moira are, well, Moira's okay, but you and your May are walled off. So now they have a big advantage here,
They're
unfortunately.
Kree.
So yeah, you get flashbangs. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, you're so low.
Alright,
I'm low.
Yeah. So they just hit their win condition Maywall. They hit it, and so that's what happens. But our May, and this is Overwatch. Our May does her job and gets a pick. Hey, awesome.
How do you
So
say?
Final pin.
tempo has shifted, but also tempo has shifted for them because now they're down at DPS. So now tempo is a little bit even. And so it's just reading. This is just reading the field, right?
Why
So,
not just
hey, we hit a Maywall, a decent one. We and Ryan's discorded, so tempo is really good, but unfortunately, probably can't kill Ryan
Oh,
because
Ryan.
you're really good at knocking Ryan because you can destroying through their shield,
Diva's
but
diving
we don't
our,
really have everyone that can.
our Zen.
Mm-hmm.
So great job, Colo. Like this is your job, Colo. Great job realizing that our Zen gets dove and you counter, and I think you guys kill the diva. So
Zen.
I'm on the diva in the back.
yeah, huge.
Diva in the back. Dropping point. Kill the rank, kill the rank,
2
kill the rank.
DPS down.
So yeah, and it just looks like they just
Ananas.
you know
Bombing.
they just no. Do we take this? I don't remember.
Yeah, May.
Alright, yeah, get ring.
No
I
cry.
just
Kill low, kill low. Alright. Alright, that's it.
Diva.
Diva.
Get on diva, get on diva.
Huge,
I got back.
huge fight. I should know this. I watched all this like an hour ago.
Why not just
So you're dead. Their May's dead. Ryan's discorded though, so again, you see he has a shield. He can't let go of that shield because he's discorded.
Diva's diving
You know, I want the team to see how powerful Zenyatta is and just how again it's a win condition. Like play to your win condition. Keep someone discorded, especially main tank if you can. We look for May wall, right? All that. Again, like there's pressure and there's tempo. All of these things equals a good Overwatch team. Knowing that hey, that Ryan's discorded. I'm not discorded. We can go a little bit more aggressive because we win a frontline war because their Ryan can't swing. If he swings, our Kree's gonna right click him and he dies.
Yeah.
So and then so we have Discord, we have
I'm on
Maywall.
the diva.
Okay, we missed Maywall. Let's back up a bit, or play slow. We can still fight, but we're thinking about like backing up. So always have that in the back of your head. And then we wait for Maywall again. We go for it again. All this time, someone's discorded, right? And we're Discord relieves the pressure from our main tank because their main tank can't really swing or their off tank, whoever's discorded, like they have to hide, they have to be careful or else they die. So all that relieves pressure and helps us regain tempo. Like tempo is so huge.
Diva in the back.
So we lose our Kree, that's a big tempo shift. We lose our DPS, so both DPS are dead. Massive tempo shift for them. But they lose their Diva, but they're still, like they win that trade. So it's okay.
Kill rank, kill
And
rank.
they Ryan probably just throws here. So yeah, all that and Katie drops. He throws there too. Unfortunately, he should have just stayed on high ground.
Ananas.
Bombing.
So here was pretty crucial.
Kill rank, kill the rank,
2
kill the rank.
DPS down.
So yeah, we get the Ryan, great. But just realize again, if the team were to realize, okay, we're down, just play slow and this is a good call for you. Like I'm almost back, 5 seconds. Give it time, 5, 6, 7 seconds, whatever, to be coming back because you're a big part of tempo. Main tank is the biggest part of tempo. So if you're coming back and the team sees this is where we, I usually like to say if okay, so there's something called counting in Overwatch, and usually I've assigned it to Volatile whenever she's learning it, so it's hard. She's getting used to it. But and that's where you count in a kill feed whether you're up or down, people. So if you kill someone, you're up 1. If they kill someone, you're down 1. So you just say down 1, up 1, even, whatever. So if you're counting the fight, I like to say if you're down 2, not winnable, don't use ults. It's a soft rule. You can definitely win it if you're down 2, but generally, if you're just not sure, just say not winnable, die on point or whatever. But here it's still very winnable. So we're not down 2. I think we're only down 1. But even then, if we are down, even if it's it's close to being not winnable, but our Reinhardt's almost back. So if everyone who's here stays alive until our Reinhardt gets back, it's super winnable now, right? So again, tempo. So if we just realize that we're down, but we can still win this, just play safe, play safe, don't do anything stupid to get yourself killed, or more, and Diva can maybe hide in a hotel real quick, and then when Ryan gets back, they could boost to him and get behind him and whatnot. Or Zenyatta could have stayed on high ground this whole time. So he would have been alive. Well, he stays alive because of Colo's big bomb. And he didn't get killed, but he made space. So, but anyway, they stay alive here.
Ananas.
Bombing.
Alright. And so, right, and this is, again, this is another part of tempo. ults swing tempo, especially there are space making ults like High Noon, Bomb, Coalescence, Nano. Those are all uh May ults. Those are all ults that make space and buy time for your team to regroup and get resources back. And this bomb was huge for that. If he does not throw this bomb, you guys lose,
Mhm.
100%, because that forces all of them off a point. You see how they scattered? They're off a point and they can't shoot. So that buys time for you to get back to point,
I'm surprised you survived that
Yeah,
kill.
May.
and that lets you start shielding some damage and swinging, and they
You know,
lose
cry.
this because of it. And they recognize, okay, we done effed up, especially like Coalescence seals the deal. You can see it. We're done. We out.
D.Va.
Get on D.Va.
They're out.
Back.
Alright, not.
Right, and so massive tempo switch. Like the Coalescence finish it. I don't like. It's okay. And like I tell her she can you burn Coalescence because you get it back quick. So like if use a support ult like that, if there's any reason, any doubt that you guys are going to win the fight, then pop it.
Alright, I'm gonna
Probably
wall off
High
again.
Noon, maybe? Nah.
Watch out, the Rhine may have shatter.
So, but yeah, did that make sense? That was exciting for me to see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I like looking at tempo. It's really good, and like if a team understands that, it will save you guys so much. Like so many fights that weren't winnable, um, become winnable if you can understand. Okay, maintain tanks back in 5 seconds, so this fight's super winnable if we just survive for 5 seconds, kind
Gotcha.
of deal. It's just so good, man. It's so big.
Mhm.
Um, Vancouver Titans, or I don't know if you watch Pro Overwatch, but Vancouver Titans are the best at it, bar none.
I think you used it already, no?
They are
I
the
used
best
it.
at those kind
I
of
don't know if
things.
you did. Alright.
Mhm.
He uses.
Get Ryan.
I see.
Huge. See, I know we missed. So like, again, Discord deletes everybody. That's why I love running Zenyatta.
Uses
Right,
Thor.
Dad.
Deleted.
Nice. Major thing.
He just got
yep.
uppercut.
D.Va. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm rotating high ground.
Yeah, they're gonna have B.
And so this is the whole. This is scouting. This is poking, right? This
No,
is the
they
scout
usually
phase.
have
Nothing's
it.
happening.
Yep.
D.Va. No. Okay, Brian's
And
back.
we're looking for Maywall again. We miss it. Like
Get D.
we hit it, but like too many people get over, so it's a miss. Like we're looking to isolate, but you like great call on you to call Dia because she is isolated from her team. So great call. That was perfect.
D.Va.
I
D.Va.
I don't know if we're able to
D.Va,
capitalize.
D.Va,
Yeah,
D.Va.
she just gets she gets yeah, she gets 2 max. Cool. But yeah, that was the perfect call. I would say like we had just messed up here though. Like it was minuscule,
I'm rotating high ground.
but that's brawl,
Yeah, they're gonna have B.
No, they use.
and that swings the fight.
D.Va. No. Okay, Brian's back.
Wait. Get D.Va.
Yep.
D.Va,
He's
D.Va.
calling Diva. Yeah, you get chain slapped, chain stunned, and then anti.
D.Va.
You poor soul is the main thing. Just don't charge. Don't charge. 100%.
Yeah.
You're anti, you're low, don't charge.
Mhm.
Just keep, back up as much as you can around the corner. You were probably dead anyway because Reinhardt's just going to keep swinging. And like, if the Reinhardt sees you anti and low, he's not going to stop swinging. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, at least give your team a chance to save you. But charging just shield your fate there.
That-
So tempo, we're down main tank, but hey, we got their off tank.
Got the barrier.
He said barrier's dead. I don't think it did.
He's
Right?
straight out.
He got fire struck, so big tempo. We're lost a big part of our DPS. So tempo is really bad right now. Down our main tank, and our main DPS. Like Creed does a lot more DPS than May ever will. So we can't not win in a straight up fight. So we're forced to use an ultimate if we want to win this. I don't know if we do or not.
Almost have another.
Yeah, so we call maybe Coalescence, but Colo again, like realizing that tempo is dead, right? We could have just like Colo could have just backed up a hard here and let them have another tick. It's okay to give them a tick if it means you guys get more time and possibly win the fight. Just give them a tick. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with giving them a tick.
Trying to keep you up.
like time is a resource, just like health and everything else, and cooldowns and whatnot. So if we don't lose Colo there, we probably have a chance here because our Zenyatta's on high ground, uncontested. They can't do anything about it. So if we just survive here, and we had May ults, so and like we weren't prepared and we weren't thinking, but we had May ult. So like we could have straight up stalled this out until you got back, straight up. Like it was super winnable. If the May ult hits, they can't do anything about it.
I got pinned.
So
Try and kill his berry.
you know, but like still, you guys held it to 30. Um, you know, you guys still just really good there. But yeah, the tempo was like the biggest thing I wanted to cover on Kings. I had other spots, but I think that's enough. I would just say, Phantom, you didn't use high ground at all on Kings. So, like, wait, you talked to Hanzo, right? I think I was on attack. Yeah, on attack. So yeah, on attack, remember, we want you taking those high grounds. So I'll be using those high grounds. You like look at their comp. All they have is Diva. All they have is Diva to contest you, and you kill Diva every day of the week. Just watch out for her Matrix, and between Matrix, just storm her face, and she dies. So you beat, especially when we're not running Zenyatta, but if we're running Zenyatta, she gets discorded. You storm her, and she dies. So use those high grounds. You're completely uncontested here. You could have just wrecked shop on their comp all Kings Row long. I will say, I think like from watching Overwatch League and seeing how they use their Kree, we may start running like have our Lucio escort Kree in a lot of places, or maybe using Brig Kree. I don't know. I want to see like more about it. So when I do my Overwatch League study, I want to see how how and when they use like Brig with Kree. But yeah, but yeah, Phantom use those high grounds. And just know, like, just again, quick addendum. Look at our comp, right? We are a great brawl comp up their face in their face comp with a Hanzo who can off angle. So play to that comp, knowing that okay, we're probably going to be 5v6 most of the time on the ground, but we have someone off angling, so we can play hard, but not as hard as we would if we had like Kree Reaper or something, something that was all in their face. But so and that's part of the tank line, right? Tanks control how hard or how soft the team goes. So just knowing that, okay, we just need to play for time here because eventually Hanzo's going to get a pick. So just play slow, just chill out. So, that's all I'm gonna do on Kings Row. That was good. Oh man, I don't even feel like doing dive. I feel like that was good enough, but I know it needs to be talked about. So, any questions so far?
Nope.
Is it making sense? Am I rambling? Am I
It's
incoherent?
making sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say if I am. I'm not offended by it.
Mhm.
Like coming too.
Hey guys.
Hey, dude, what's up?
Not much. I was recording.
Cool.
Pod, so
How'd it go?
most of my comp games went well, except for the last one.
Hey, that's always how it is, right?
Yeah.
Because if
Besides-
if they keep going well, then you keep playing. So
Yeah.
so yeah, the last one always sucks.
Yeah.
Oh man, well good, dude. Glad they went well.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it.
You just missed me have an orgasm talking about tempo. So
I
yeah.
have a page and a half of notes.
Oh no. Anyone writing notes on anything I say that's not good. I talk about rambling and nothing.
This is the full page that says Zion orgasm.
Pretty much. All right, but you did make it in time for the dive portion though.
Cool.
So yeah. Ooh, number one. And I meant to bring it up, like you did it on, I think, the last Rialto we ran. Assume you're going to die. Alright? Always assume you're going to die. Die in a place where your Mercy can res you. Kitty was super smart, not helping you out here. Widow die in the spot where Mercy can res you, which means at a corner. She can res you right here. She can res that. She ain't resing this. If I would have yelled at him if he resed in the middle of that street when they had a Widow, I would have flamed him. But he did good. He did good leaving you there. So yeah, Vink. This I don't know if you're there, but we when we're talking about Pharah with Phantom, because he's eventually going to have to learn how to play Pharah as part
Hmm.
of being projectile, playing for your Mercy, right? So remember, like Mercy's job is to keep you protected just as much as it is to keep her protected with your positioning. So you need to be in spots to where she's safe to res you and to heal you, right? So she
So
can't
is this a bad widow spot where I am now?
like it's bad because you're out here in Narnia. This is fine.
Okay.
Like this is fine. Um, but it's the fact that she can't res you. If you get in trouble, she can't help you. That's the thing, right?
Right.
If you want help, you have to let her help you. So
Uh, yeah, they have a widow.
Fuck! I saw it coming too.
we meant you kill, not them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zine.
Anytime.
Pick me again.
I'm always here for the moral support or the immoral support. All right. So I'm gonna pause it here. Dive. So dive itself is about burst damage and map control. So on defense, the map control part is easy because it's already given to us. We and so what we're doing is called staging. There's the just like in like normal Overwatch, there's the scouting phase, the poke phase, the combat phase. There's scouting, and then there's staging, and then there's the combat. What we're doing is staging, which means it's a safe place for us to. It's area that we control, and it's a safe space for us to retreat back to, and for our supports to set up and be safe. Um, to help the dive team when they go in. So we decided gas station is our uh, staging area, which is fine. And I mean, which is great. Like this is just the place you do on point A. I actually like, you know, you can actually like set up here, and then as your initial dive spot, and then retreat to a gas station if you want. Like if you want like an early, just some early ult charge, and an early contest. But anyway, so dive, dive wants high ground all the time if it can. So that's why why gas station is so good is what does high ground allow you to do as dive heroes? Any guesses?
I mean, as monkey, you drop on them without using your jump, so you're able to get back to safety.
Exactly. Yes. And that is called soft diving. No, that's not called soft diving. That's just that's called not using your cooldowns. I mean, it is a form of soft dive, but it's not exactly soft dive. But it is like it's what you can do in a soft dive, but that's not exactly what soft diving is. But it's just so you want to engage anytime you can, just dropping on them so you can go back to high ground, just like you said. So, and this is great because cart eventually has to pass right underneath gas station. So it's okay. Like I know in ranked people hate letting cart move, but it's okay. Just let cart move. Because you're going to pounce on them anyway. So you're making the match more favorable for you if you let cart travel and you just drop down onto them, you jump back up, drop down onto them, jump back up. Right, your honest is going to be sitting up here, perfectly safe, into their comp that they have, and just healing you, and then you drop back, you drop down. Um, so what you're looking for, so like we can look at their comp. Their comp is very anti-dive, as in their comp is built to do what you would normally call catch a dive. They're built to absorb the initial dive damage and then retaliate, which their comp is really good at doing that. So, but what dive thrives on is not necessarily So like in a comp like this, um, what dive really likes to do is force you into a mistake. So you can just drop down onto them, throw a bubble, and like at that point, so it's like into a brawl comp that they're running. You could essentially say that the Sombra Widow are a team, and then the two dive tanks are a team. And all the dive tanks are there doing into this is just stalling out cart, kind of like we talked about on Paris Attack when we had Hanzo Widow double sniper,
Hmm.
right? The tanks are there to just buy time and to stall, not there to really make a play because into what they have. You could hear Phantom was having trouble picking out a dive target because there isn't one. They were playing
Yeah.
in a death ball. There is no clear target. So all you guys can do is stall comp, stall a cart, break up the comp, just drop on top of them. You know, get a big cleave because you're going to get massive cleave if they're playing a death ball. You're going to get 6-man cleave, so 2 or 3 jumps you're going to have primal.
Hmm.
So you're going to get massive cleave. Also, all you're looking for is just to drop down on top of them, get cleave, play around card, be safe, and when you get low, jump up, get healed by Ana, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You and Diva both. That's all you guys are doing. And at that point, Widow's looking just in that chaos looking for a pick, and then Sombra in that chaos looking for a pick. Right? Widow can call if she gets a body shot, something Kree low. Sombra can then decloak and shoot Kree, something like that. So you're just the tanks are there just stalling card, and the DPS have to make a pick. You know.
Hmm.
So that's what you're looking for into a comp like uh, they have. How you would go about it. So the like Colo knows when we would do heavy Ryan Zarya practice. Um, the off tank is constantly giving an update on their bubbles, like 5 seconds of bubble, 3 seconds of bubble, or something, um, to protect the bubble, so the main tank knows how to how when the bubble is up, so he can ask for it. Same thing here, like she should be giving you an update on her matrix, so because what you would want ideally in order, because you can probably think can probably see that okay, as you have cart. 1 second. All right. So you can probably imagine that, with, let me ask this, with the tanks dropping down the cart and then hopping back up, what can you see as a possible problem?
The Kree's flashbang as soon as I drop.
That's one. What else? More broad.
Ana's sleep dart.
True, but I mean
Also
those are
hurt.
those are very very good. It's not a cooldown though.
Yeah.
I mean as far as
I
like
was
what
gonna say
I'm
early
looking for.
grenade.
That's good too. All very valid. But what I'm looking for isn't a cooldown.
Maze freeze.
Nah, I mean it is an issue. Yeah, they're built on heavy anti-dive, but something else.
They put their position. They can just go inside gas station.
That's true, but that's good for us because they can't move cart.
Oh, I don't know then.
What happens if Winston and Diva both leave cart? Who's contesting cart?
No one
Exactly. So what
Yeah,
happens to cart?
keeps going
goes
forward.
through.
Exactly. All right. So there's something called tank ping ponging. Um, so Diva's constantly giving a update on her matrix, and so we said the tanks jump on cart, not at the same time though. So like Monkey would go first, and then from the high ground, Diva would be matrixing Monkey. So that means, well, what does that mean for Monkey?
I'm taking less damage.
Yeah, exactly. And what else?
I don't have to worry about like the flashbang and that stuff because it'll get eaten.
Right. And because of that, what do you not have to do so early?
I can stay there longer.
Yes, and what else? What do you not have to do that Monkey normally does?
Bubble.
Yes, exactly. So that means you don't have to use bubble for like 2 seconds, which is huge. Like
Hmm.
that's massive, right? Just 2 extra seconds of cleave that you're getting on 6 people. That's 2 extra seconds you're able to stay on cart, and then as the ping ponging goes, like you can imagine, okay, what happens next? Monkey, all that happens. Monkey uses bubble. He gets low, so he finally has to get out. Diva now jumps on cart, and then she does her stall thing, like with Matrix and whatnot, and then she gets back up, like she jumps up, gets healed, and then Monkey jumps down, right? And then the rotation starts over again. So if you guys do it well enough, think about it. Like like Diva, by the time this keeps on going, you can imagine like the resources get worn down a bit. But if you're able to stall cart long enough with the ping pong, if you two are ping ponging well, you two are like having a very nice rotation of monkey jump, diva booster, and all of that like being regened quickly enough, right? Because the 2 seconds that you're on cart are 2 seconds that Colo gets to have his boosters regen and to get healed up by Ana, and then you jumping off, he jumps down, right? You know, and with the confusion of Widow being shot at by Widow, and then Sombra, like they're not all focusing you, so like you guys aren't going to get focused down to that quickly, So you're able to use card as shield and all that, and so you're like the longer he's able to stay on cart, your bubbles being regen, your jumps coming off a cooldown, right? So he flies up, you jump down, he gets his boosters back, he gets his DM back, getting healed up, all that, right? And so you know, the more efficiently that you guys can do that, the more resources are getting built back up easily, so you guys can contest card consistently, right? So there's going to be these periods where it moves, but you guys are going to be able to get back down quicker because you guys are rotating your cooldowns efficiently. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
And so eventually, after all this time, what's going to happen?
Well, our DPS are going to get picks, and then they're going to have to fall back.
Yep, they're going to get picks, and what else is going to happen?
Our alts are going to get built.
Exactly, and that's like tank ults or what freaking dive lives on, and then we have Sombra who has a broken as hell ult anyway. So and dive loves EMP because they can't do anything about you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and like it's surviving until the first ult cycle is what dive has an issue with. Once you get the ults going, it's game over because you can win. You can win the next fight with just primal. You can win the next fight with just bomb. You can win. You're going to win the next fight with EMP. Then you got nano monkey which will basically give him primal that fight anyway. So like then its cycle starts over again. You get primal, Diva gets bomb, she bombs, Sombra gets EMP, Ana gets nano, you nano, and it just starts over and over and over again. So that's the beauty of dive, and that's it's I still agree it's the most powerful comp, but it's hard as hell to run, but it's good and it's fun. But yeah, so that's how you want to look at dive being run, and um, don't want to I don't have to look too big into like what we did, but it would be good to see kind of like
Right up front.
it's good to see what we did, so you can see like why it failed so hard.
Hmm.
One, we used bubble. We had no need to use bubble. There's a big
Yeah.
sign in front of you with an Ana behind you, so you're fine. Who cares if you
Yeah.
take damage? Because taking damage isn't bad. What does taking damage do?
Builds their alt.
And what else?
Reduces damage taken by our backline.
That's true. That's true as well. What else?
I don't know.
It gives your support ults.
Gotcha.
Taking damage is not bad. It's it's not bad if your supports need ult charge.
Hmm.
So it's not it's not the worst thing in the world. So it's okay to face tank some shots because you're honest. Like, hey, thank you, appreciate it. You know.
Hmm.
So it's don't be afraid to take, especially like again, what phase of the fight we in right now?
Scouting,
Yeah.
staging.
Yeah, so you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
There's no way you die here. Unless you're just sitting there waving Krieg in the face. They have a possibility of dying because we're running the Widow, so they you know, like we said earlier, Widow thrives in the scouting phase because that's where she likes to get picks.
Mhm.
So they're the ones that have to be scared, not us. So yeah, we use bubble here, which means
better.
we can't ping
It's
pong just yet, and
Mhm.
now would be a really nice time to ping pong. We can now, they're now in the area where we can just drop down
Dive target.
and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they're all sticking.
And so like it's smart what they're like. I shouldn't say smart. It's interesting what they're doing. Like they're going up the ramp and moving carts so they can shoot you guys. Which me, I would be like, why? I wouldn't even care. I would just tell my team to just hold here. They have cart. We have to contest them. Like they're attacking us for some, like they're trying to attack us for some reason. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like a misconception in the lower ranks where people feel like they have to be doing something. Yeah, no, they could just sit underneath payload, underneath gas station and move payload and not have to do anything and force our hand. Because what we can do
Mhm.
now, if we like, they make the tank ping ponging easy. Where would you like? So let's role play this ping pong here. Where would you drop down to right now?
Right behind cart.
Where?
Use the cart as cover
Yep,
on our
exactly.
side.
hmm
Cart, yeah.
Yep, just sit right there and crouch, like legit,
Mhm.
just crouch. Your hitbox will be hidden by cart. So yeah, they may graze your back a bit because I mean Korea's on high ground, sure, but whatever. Like one, you're going to be DM'd. All that's going to be DM'd. So you're actually 100% health for 2 seconds because he can't shoot you because Ryan can't swing on you because he's on the ramp. Ana
Mhm.
can't nade you. She can't sleep you. Right. So cart stalled. So they're going to eventually have to move. But then, so that's 2 seconds that gets burnt. And then you drop bubble once he says my DM's out because he needs to tell you that. So you know to drop bubble. So then you drop
Mhm.
bubble. Okay. Then there's something called bubble dancing. Um,
Stay
uh,
along the edge of it.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's if you're able to do that, especially with like Korea, that's great. And then May, like, because you can bubble dance and delay the freezing because she can't quite get all the freeze stacks on you.
Mhm.
So that's something you can do. But all that, it's whatever. But then when you finally get low, you jump out. That's at least 5 or 6 seconds that they just burned. And then you go up, you get healed. Colo drops down, wherever they are at. But all this time, right? So tanks are doing this. So Diva drops. So tanks are doing this. Our Widow needs to, our Widow Sombra are looking to do something. She can be decloaking, she can be looking for a hack, which if they're focused on you, there is definitely an opportunity. I guarantee you they are not going to rotate properly to where they are not open to Widow or Sombra. I guarantee you. They are not going to play this perfectly. No, like
Mhm.
just legit no team will. Because it's hard. Rotating is hard. Extremely hard. Like, I mean, you can already see that Ana's a little bit open to her Sombra, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so if she, and that's another thing. Like we talked about this with the Sombra VOD review earlier with the Phantom. He needs to be looking for like Sombra is a big cooldown hero. She has to be looking for cooldowns because that determines who she can hack or should not hack. Because if someone just blew her cooldowns, why the hell would we hack her? Like, there's no reason to hack her because she has no cooldowns.
Yeah.
Just shoot her. So if she sees like Ana trying to nade you that gets eaten by Colo or slept, she dicks on this Ana right here. just decloak it, just shoot her in the back of the head. She can't do anything about it because Sombras can't get slept or naded, right? And I guarantee you, their team's not about to peel for this Ana if our Diva's on card. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So things will open up. Dive is an opportunistic comp. Things will open up if we tank rotate properly and if we just keep on making things happen, things will open up and Widow thrives on that. So as far as Widow positioning here, like I don't blame like this is normal Widow position. I don't blame him for where he's at because we didn't talk about. Are you still here, Knox?
Yeah, I'm still
Cool.
here.
All right. Cool. It's being recorded anyway, so just wanted to be sure that. Um, so like I certainly don't blame him for the positioning because it's normal Widow positioning, but you can see like there's no one to shoot. So be aggressive. Be aggressive. I hate myself. Um,
So should I be like on that right side?
yeah, you could be here because why?
Because that's where card is.
I
Wait.
mean, sure, but why, like, why else? Why are you okay being here?
Oh, where I am because once
No,
cart pulls over, I
no,
have to.
sorry, I mean to the right side where you said. You meant down here, right? Or did you mean somewhere else?
Are you writing on the thing?
Oh, can y'all not see the drawing?
No.
Well, oh yeah, it is OBS. It was just recording. Okay, well then, I have been drawing, and you guys haven't been seeing it. Alrighty, that sounds weird. Well, never mind. Okay, so what rest side are you talking about, Knox?
Uh, like the high ground, like where the diva is going up, but like that side.
Oh, okay, yeah. Um, that is also a spot. Like, that's not bad. I wouldn't. Uh, I would say not because it's the direction they're going. So they're kind of
Yeah.
advantageous there.
So maybe
But
towards like
mhm.
where Phantom is right now,
Yeah,
or
you could
no?
be. Yeah, I would be like you could be to where Phantom is, or maybe to the up. You see that billboard mini down there to the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could like be on that hill to the right of it a bit, or
Yeah.
that. And so why would that be okay? Like it's an aggressive
'Cause
angle, but why
I
would
can just hook to high ground
exactly? And
there.
why can you hook to that high ground? What's so important about
Because
that high ground?
our team is up there.
Yeah, that's our staging area. That's our safe area. Like remember that. Like that's your retreat spot if you get in trouble because that's where help will be. That's
Hmm.
where our Winston or our Diva will be. That's where our Ana will be. So yeah, you have help. And again, real what we talked about earlier. Look at their comp. They got no one that's gonna dare come to that Diva. Better not come to that high ground. Like she's gonna get dicked on by Winston or Diva, Ana, you, Mercy. She does not survive if she jumps to that high ground. So that place is a safe haven for you. Again, realizing what like looking at the comp is so important and seeing what they can and cannot do. All they have is Diva that can come up there. So what? You guys don't care. You guys want Diva to come up there. Take her out behind the dumpsters and thug her up.
Yeah, I
Tell her
was
to.
definitely playing like solo Widow.
It's tough, right? Because when we haven't had a dive session, so I made you guys run it so we could have this talk. I know it sucks in game, but we need to be able to see what we do wrong and fix it and have a base to work off of. So here we are. And I guarantee you guys will do better. It'll be your first time, probably working on tank ping ponging, playing an aggressive widow, uh, you know, looking for the opportunities, but you guys will do better, guaranteed, because you now have a basis to work off of. And we're just going to keep refining it. Just like the Ryan Zarya, now we're pretty darn good at it. Um, we're not, definitely still things to work on, but we're a lot better than we were, and we're holding our own in scrims. So, things are definitely getting better, and it's just because we keep getting better, refining it, and bot reviewing, and that's just how learning works. So, but yeah, you could be on that right high ground, that right ramp, because yeah, you can just hook up top if you get in trouble, and you have a pocket mercy, which is cool. Must be nice. So it's
If I can land shots.
you will, dude. Don't worry about it. Like, again, yeah, we are playing a greedy comp. It's a very DPS heavy comp. You and Phantom have to do damage at least. You don't have to get picks. You have to do damage. Um, because you
Oh,
doing damage will wear out resources. Because like we have a Winston who is 6-man cleaving everybody. If people are low, he's going to kill. So it's like all you guys have to do is just do damage and be a nuisance. Do
I've been
damage.
playing for picks.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice. I would like for you to get headshots, but just if nothing else, just do damage
Okay.
because you're sucking up. So like if our diva, because our Winston and diva aren't just like sitting on card doing nothing. They're holding M1 as well, so they're doing things. But think about like as a support, um, Krieg gets body shot. Um, May is being shot in the back of the head by Ana, not dying. Diva is being, I mean, I'm Ana by Sombra. Diva's taking some shots by Sombra. You body shot or you headshot Diva. You body shot Diva. Maybe you poke Ryan a bit. Ana has to choose now who to heal, and she better be landing them shots because you guys are consistently doing damage, right? Um, or she throws her nade. Now she doesn't have nade. Now they're really screwed because you guys just keep doing damage, and now Ana's a single target healer. She can't heal everybody at the same time. So Dive plays the long game. You guys thrive in like wearing out resources. You know, and then May has to use wall. May has to use cryo because she's getting body shot or hitting it by Sombra, right? Diva has to use DM. Over time, those cooldowns wear out, and you guys are just they can't get to you because you guys are mobile. That's why Dive is so good because you guys can leave. They can't leave. Once they get the card, they're committed. So,
I got a question.
what's up?
This might sound wild and crazy
I
or
mean,
whatever, but
you told us a sim strat that took point A on Paris. So, what's up?
I stole that from video. But
Yeah. We'll just say Knox
would
came up with it.
would having a May actually work with a Dive, because May's really good at pulling out cooldowns, and I think like if we work on high ground, she can use her wall to get to high ground and retreat if she needs to.
Did you by chance watch the Boston Uprising versus New York Excel match last week?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you realize what they ran?
Did they do that?
Boston came out on Monkey Ball Tracer Sombra, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. They Nixel came out on a Rhine Diva comp. Couldn't beat it. So Nixel switches to a Rhine Diva May comp, I think. They couldn't beat the Monkey Ball. So they swapped to uh I think the Monkey Ball of their own with May and won 100. Boston gets it to 96-0. Nixel takes it 196 with Dive May.
Can we try that?
Sure could.
Hell yeah.
Especially like here, it would really work because high ground. What are they going to do? if they're running Reinhardt comp, what are they going to do? The only thing I would be hesitant is that she is weak once she uses her wall. Like she gets right click, sure, but you want to think about how much. Like, are you using the full utility, the full kit of a hero? Because if not, then you could probably slot someone else who you could use their full utility, right? So
Yeah.
we wouldn't be using her M1 at all, but we'd be using her right click and her May wall, which is cool. May wall is really good, but that's where I would worry. But you know, so I don't know. Like we could try it, but I would be worried about like that. Like I would be thinking, man, we could be doing something better, like more efficient kind of deal.
Yeah.
Um, cause like, cause what? Because Phantom would have to run the May. Wouldn't have the Sombra, which is fine. But like then you would be relying on May's right click to deal damage, which if they're running Reinhardt, you would have to be taking a freakishly aggressive angle because their Rhine shield is going to be shielding May, and then you're going to have to be in a place to not get blocked by Rhine shield, which is behind them, which is freakishly aggressive. So it worked on it worked for Nixel because they were on Oasis City Center, which is that circular map with the pillar in the middle. So like it's pretty easy for May to get around things. Here it's not as much. So I would probably want to run you on not Widow there. Maybe like if we're just going for point A hold, probably I would not be opposed to Junkrat, really.
I I could play
Yeah, I
Junkrat.
know. Yeah. So maybe Junkrat, like Pharah would be awesome, but you're not a projectile. I wouldn't want you on Pharah because it's just not your pool. Um,
I always pick
so
her up too.
nah, it's Phantom's job. Um, of course we could run you on the May, and he could run the Pharah. It's something like May Pharah would be really strong in a dive actually into this dive.
I'm decent at May. I just got to get better at her walls.
Yeah. I mean, Mayfaro would be really strong, actually. Yeah, it's something to consider in the future, for sure. Um, Tracer wouldn't be a bad pick. It's just that's a lot of lack of no, because Ryan gets shield wherever Tracer is. I
I
don't know.
wouldn't be comfortable running Tracer here just because of the way the map is.
Yeah, it's too one directional, right? Like where it is. Like point two would be better.
Yeah.
But point one would be really hard. So yeah, I don't like. I'm not opposed to it, but I could see flaws in it. It would really be. It's really point specific. Like if we run Oasis, we can try it next time. Try May Tracer dive. That would be good on City Center.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I would just focus frozen targets.
Yeah, because we'd have to play for. Because we'd have to like play to protect the May. Because she's gonna be on the only one on the ground, right? So I mean, she could like you could have May wall herself up to get to the center pillar, but if she ever gets dropped, which she will, because Diva's probably gonna knock her off and whatnot. So we'd have to play to protect May, which is fine. So it's very risky, but I don't mind risk. Monkey Ball is really good there, so I think like because Monkey Ball with Tracer does so much burst damage, it's stupid. So yeah, we can give it a shot. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. Um, as far as so yeah, that's ping ponging. That's Widow Sombra. So just any questions on like how you would run that? How does that make sense? Kind of get the feel for it.
Yeah.
Cool. There's different types of dive. Like I'm a fan of Mercy Lucio because I like it's a so like if you can tell if you're running on Ana, you are not like you don't you have one person that's not quite going in with a dive really.
Hmm.
Um, and if you're that's assuming we're Sombra Tracer or a traditional dive like Genji Tracer or something, you have people that are going in on a dive. Monkey Diva, like Genji Tracer, Lucio Mercy, everyone, all six people are collapsing onto the team. It's really fun. It's so all in and it's so crazy and it's so fun. So I'm a fan of that. But you can tell like if you're running Ana like we are, Ana's not quite going to jump into the middle of the enemy team. So there's different types of dive, and you have to. So there's if you're playing like an Ana and say they weren't playing this comp, maybe they had a tracer of their own. Then you need to figure out okay, who is peeling for our Ana because Ana will definitely be attacked by tracer 100% of the time. So there's peel, and maybe a good team, like a really good team, will see that your tank will see that your tank ping ponging, and then as you ping pong, they'll attack your tracer. I mean, your Ana with tracer or somebody, and then that means the tank that would then come into ping pong would have to probably peel. Um, so then you can no longer tank ping pong.
Hmm.
Something else, but you know that's just other things
Yeah.
that we'll get into. Don't have to cover it now. But in general, if we have an Ana, Diva would be the one to peel, or if we're running Tracer. So again, looking at our comp, who's everyone's hero responsibility, even in protection, especially dive, peel is a thing if they're running any kind of dive hero. Diva is normally the one that would die, or that would peel, but also your like if we have a Tracer, our Tracer can as well. Our Tracer would then play always on the side of our Ana. She would always be in line of sight of our Ana, and so be in an area. She would play in a way to where, okay, I'm ready for the dive call, but I'm also ready if our Ana gets attacked, so I can blink one way or the other. All right.
I, I feel like that's really difficult for dive just because of we're mostly on high ground and Tracer's like gonna be low ground
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time.
Yep. It's never said dive is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but so again, what
Dive
the
is the
dive is awesome, dude. But there's an aspect to dive, like the biggest aspect of dive is scouting. You know, good scouting wins dive. Um, so so you counter that like with Tracer having to go to difficult spots with knowing where their dive heroes are at all times. So if you know, like, say if you're on one area of the map and you know like enemy Tracer's not there, guess where she probably is? On the other side of the map. And so that even though you don't know where Tracer is, that kind of scouting saying Tracer's not over here. So Ana may need to rotate. So it's like Ana can jump off of high ground to a place that her Tracer can get to. It's not just that Tracer has to go save Ana thing. Ana needs to work in conjunction with Tracer to make sure that Tracer can help her. So you know it's a in that we talked about earlier the space that we own, contestable space that they own. That's them. Like they're also fighting on making certain spaces unavailable to us, just like we're fighting to make certain spaces unavailable to them. So it's a back and forth match. If they're smart, if their team is good enough to force our Ana down, then that's hey, we concede that space if it means protecting our Ana, right? But now their Tracer has the high ground. But then maybe we do something else that takes a resource away from them. So dive is all about like the first thing I said was dive about burst damage and map control. That's map control, and that's a whole other game in itself. So, but things like that. But just know, yeah, figure out. You guys will need to figure out who is going to peel. Like if we have an Ana was in no threat here because no one's going to come after her. But if they did have a tracer, you guys need to figure that out. Which one of us is going to be the one to peel? So, but
Mhm.
we'll cover that at another time. That's definitely enough of dive for the day. Um, okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Nope.
Cool. Um, that
teach me your
will.
ways.
Man, I don't know anything, dude. I just spout random things and hope that they make coherent sentences. Okay. That's going to be it for like the formal review. I think just for personal pleasure, I want to look at Numbani just because I really liked what you guys did on Numbani, especially all the bomb EMPs because they were fun to watch. So I just want to look at Numbani. So, but yeah, as far as the formal reviews, you guys are free to go. Thank y'all for coming. Lucio, if y'all want to go,
I'll stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Uh,
those are the things I wanted to cover.
and go.
Ryan.
Biggest things like for next scrim, look at their comp, look at your comp, figure out what we want to do. Like combine the two all the pros and cons of both, and figuring out what we want to do. And always pre-fight and all track, and then like I would definitely go back and listen to the Kings Row portion for everyone that wasn't here, and listen to Tempo. All right, so let's because one is awesome, Tempo is amazing, and two,
Yeah.
if you can understand Tempo, it flat out will change the way you see Overwatch, and you'll be surprised at how many fights that are probably normally lost are easily won simply by staying alive for another 5 seconds because you realize that hey, we have an ult coming up, or hey, our main tank's coming back from spawn, or someone with an ult is coming back from spawn. Let's wait 5 seconds and survive for 5 seconds instead of trying to get a kill, kind of deal. So yeah, I like that you go for the fire strikes in the beginning, but some maps is just not worth it, like this map, because this high ground up there is too crucial.
Yeah.
So they're going to take control of that
They're
high
going
ground, I
around right
believe,
side. I don't know if they're going top or bottom.
and it hurts.
Top.
Top.
Like that hurts that they
Mid.
got there uncontested.
Yeah, they're both up.
Yeah.
Alright. Who are we getting?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan,
Ryan charging. Dead.
Why did he charge? I don't even know.
Diva. McCree.
Cree.
Well,
Alright. Who are we getting?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan. Charging. Dead. Diva. McCree.
so that's just one of those things. Realizing that you were half HP. And you went forward, which is cool. We'll go forward with your shield up if you're going to be aggressive, especially when you're half HP.
Cree.
Volatile. It's okay. Like, it's okay that you're this close, but remember you could be doing the same job from a distance, like we
Get
talked
the Mei,
about.
she's on the right side.
Kree's in the back.
Alright.
Okay.
Hey, you guys just out DPS them there.
Let's trace them. Never mind.
I like how Phantom's like in there, bro.
If that's not little dig, let's chase him. I'm like, hell no, you don't chase that. You kidding me?
I like how Phantom's like in there, dude.
No, man. That's so little dig. Yeah, man, old Ryan.
Ryan.
You guys die here. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm low.
Mei.
Thought he was our Lucian.
Sorry, we talked about earlier. Our main tank is deaded. Oh yeah, Tempo is gone. Tempo is dead. Oh, he's back. Nox is dead now.
Window.
But also, Tempo, our main tank's not in position. I'm not sure why our team thought it was cool to face tank and annoying Ryan, but here we are. Alright, it's okay to fall back and leave, you know.
Ryan.
We put ourselves in a terrible spot.
I'm low.
I'm done.
Mei.
Right. And this is us not counting
Let's trace
properly. The chase call doesn't happen if we know that we're even without a main tank, and our main tank died first. So which is like, if you guys win a fight and someone in your fight dies first, know that your guy's going to get back sooner than theirs. So just chill, like just play safe. It's good. You may start the fight at like a disadvantageous position, but at least you guys will start at 6.
There's a Lucian in the back. I thought he was our Lucian.
Like we have no business being here.
Window.
Ryan.
Like how Phantom's still on the ground.
I'm low.
I'm done.
Mei.
Aggro as hell, dude.
I'm dead.
I'm on the high ground. I'm really low.
Yeah, we lose this simply because we didn't understand tempo. We didn't process what was going on.
Nano, they have everything.
We're all here. We
It
didn't get
might
someone.
not have Lucio, but
So Ryan Diva is what people have been running lately.
Yep.
Alright. What are we doing this way?
McCree's going
Is
around.
McCree on the right?
Alright, we asked what are we doing this fight. Bullets are already being shot. So we should have done that 10 seconds ago.
McCree's going on the right side, yeah.
they're flanking. They're gonna try to flank now.
I know where the Kree went.
On you, Angelio.
I don't know where the Kree went. You're shooting at him, Kolo.
Angelio. Far.
I don't know, sleep.
Diva.
How are you on resources?
Diva.
I need healing.
Battle left.
Far.
I don't know, sleep.
Diva.
How are you on resources?
Diva.
I need healing.
Battle left.
Far.
Should we bother review with Phantom for us?
No, do you want to? You can ask him. I didn't play, so I don't have the recording. So you can ask Phantom if he has a recording.
On you, Antonio.
So what I'm looking at for like while I keep rewinding is again the idea of tempo. We gave them so like we were playing in the middle of the street here, but and it's because we don't. It's probably because you guys don't know what you're doing as far as where are we gonna play, how should we play, whatnot. You guys are like in the middle, kind of like what Durzo talked about with you, Nox, like being decisive. If you guys are going to give up this space and let them reach this corner behind bus, don't even peek out right here. Like you're using your shield for no reason. You're using up more resource for no reason. Just sit behind the green truck if we're not even going to contest them at the next corner or contest them at all. Right now we're just poking and we're just doing things. We just gave the Ana some ult charge by taking a nade when we could just been sitting right here this whole time. Like we end up here anyway, why not just sit here? If we're not going to contest, alright? So either, be aggro and contest because again, we have ults. We have a tempo ult. Like Bomb and Dragon was a tempo ult. Or that I listed earlier, alright? Those are ults that we can use to get in there if we need to. But if we're not going to get in there, then don't get in there.
D.Va.
Are you on resources?
D.Va.
I need healing.
Battle left.
Okay, and that's us not ult track. I don't know if we ult track that Ryan Chatter, but if Ryan Chatter is ever ult tracked, then you need to be playing like he has Shatter. Which means always mirroring him and standing in front of him with your shield ready. You don't have to have your shield up, but bitch, just be ready to block the Shatter. But you have to mirror the Reinhardt.
I'm out of back.
So if you don't get him with your Shatter, then you have to trust your team to kill the people on the ground because you have to mirror the Reinhardt because he's just going to shatter your team like he did there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, tempo is gone, right? So we leave. Like don't just dither around, leave. But something interesting did happen. On your retreat, and that's good about having a one-shot hero or high DPS heroes, our Korean Hanzo did really well demecking the D.Va on the way out. That doesn't mean go back in, but it means that now when you guys do regroup, you have an advantage. Even if it's just baby D.Va, but even if it could have been like a kill on maybe their Kree or their Lucio or somebody. It doesn't mean go back in, but it means that you guys can now regroup and go in quickly, right? Because now they're going to be down someone. So the exit kills are huge, but they still mean leave. Right? Still, now it means leave even harder because think about it. You're retreating because your people lost the fight, but therefore, like your people died and some of your teammates died in this fight. So, which means they're going to leave your spawn sooner because they died first. But now, you just got an exit kill, which means now they're going to be a man down, but you're going to be 6 people before them now because they had someone who died last. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you guys regroup. Now you guys definitely regroup. Like if I was Phantom, I'd be turning around and running. Like don't even shoot another arrow. Just leave because you need to get out because you did your job. You got you an exit kill, and which puts the respawn timers in your favor because your people are going to be back. There's won't. So now, if he gets out, you guys are 6, and you guys can rush back in, and now take this fight as a 6v5. It's a free fight, and now we just get another one, which is huge. And then he dies. Like that can't happen. So, I mean, assuming Creed didn't die, now it just resets. Like now you guys can't take this fight because now your guy's gonna get back late. So if you guys go in now, it's going to be 5v5, but then they're going to be 6v5 before you're 6v6 because your guy died last. Alright?
Yep.
So, if he didn't die, you guys could rush back in. Now, Kree died, so now it's still a 5v5. So now you guys could still take this because, again, I'm counting the deaths. It's 5v5 now the second you guys regroup. Everyone but Phantom. So you guys could take this fight and just rush back in.
Oh my god. That Ana's way out of position. We're not even getting her.
So now now we can't because now we lost. Now we're going to be down 1. if we take this fight. So like Nox, what you're doing here is dangerous. You know, poking, and you could potentially like for that same reason that Phantom died and Moira died. Um, if we had got just got if we had gotten the exit kill, we just leave here. Don't bother getting more.
Yeah.
Just leave. So, but now we can't take this fight ever. Like it's over. Just give it
Alright,
to our
yeah.
next fight. Which you do, which is good, but you know,
They look pretty
just imagine if we didn't, right? We could have sped boosted back in, you know, engaged with you know, a zoning ult like High Noon, Dragon, or Bomb, or Coalescence, whatever. We had, you know, we could have taken another fight. Whether we lose or not doesn't matter, but we would have taken another minute or so off the clock.
Yeah, they're gonna try.
Katie, can you go on heals? Not there yet.
Right.
Warp coming.
Alright, the healing.
I'm gonna try to drag it.
I did see that. That's awesome.
Y'all ready?
Free.
Hey, Zion, I gotta go.
All right, dude. Have a good one, man.
You too. See you guys.
See you.
Hit
Bud.
it.
Nice job. Ryan.
Colo finally learned how to use his ult.
No
Which is
shield.
good.
Sleep.
Back up, Ryan.
Man, I paid for it.
Push on them.
So kind of, you know, just again,
Back up, Ryan.
we get a pick, and I know like the volatile hangs out with a master support a lot, so I'm sure she probably gets a lot of coaching from him, and he, you know, he's big on tempo as well. It's huge. Tempo is absolutely massive. If you guys can understand tempo, it'll immediately put you on par with like high plat to low diamond teams. But we lose the DPS, so we're 5v6. And so a support ult like Coalescence or Valkyrie or Nano can be used to regain tempo in a losing fight, or to push tempo in your favor in even if it's an even fight. And so she popped it here the second we lose Hanzo, probably to regain some bit of tempo and swing the fight back in our favor. So, but then
Push on them.
they respond with a tempo ult, alright? So they're swinging tempo back in their favor, because now this bomb's going to clear you guys out and make space for them. Whether it gets kills or not doesn't matter. Now they get to just run forward and take space. And that's a good one. Like, you can bomb you can bomb and just charge your Reinhardt, and then what's Reinhardt gonna do? Not counter charge. He either counter charges or gets taken for a ride. Either way, he dies to the bomb. So you know, it's a play. It's also a good play. And the same thing can be done with High Noon. Your Rhine, your Krieg and High Noon behind you, and you charge the Rhine, and then he just High Noons the whole team. So both are things that can be done.
Gotcha.
So that's enough for that one. I just really like looking at tempo and things. And so, Sombra. Oh, missed the fight. So yeah, what are you thinking when you see your team's comp, Laverne? From what we've talked about today, how does our team comp affect your play at all?
Well, we're kind of waiting for Phantom to get a hack and sort of target someone, like he hacks the Hanzo.
Exactly.
And then we're taking the high ground to let Nox basically just have a field day.
Mana's back high ground.
Alright, that's a little.
We have a widow.
I mean, they've got the
Okay,
Hanzo
cool.
that could
Okay,
contest
you can
him.
see the
They got
comp?
the Widow that could
Siva's
anti-snipe,
high
and then the
ground,
Diva that can jump up.
Left high ground.
But it's essentially I'm just trying to buy time for
I was waiting for the
them to
Hanzo.
do their
Left high
jobs.
ground.
Exactly.
Diva.
Your anti.
Yeah, they do.
Back up.
Like they just have a really good good position right now
Got
with
Ana
where they're
and
at.
Widow right side.
Back
So-
out. Again.
And that's something like I will just straight up say that's Phantom's fault. I don't know if he called it out. Did he say where they were at? Like Sombra's and Viz, he should be able to tell you where their whole team comp is, and we should have been able to prepare for it at least. I'm not sure if we got caught off guard or not. I don't feel like rewinding to see. But if he didn't,
Back out.
Alright, they don't have a much space, so that's good.
that's on him. He should have told you guys where everyone was.
Come back. regroup.
So looking, I mean, like looking at their comp, what does it mean for us at all?
Hope.
Are we even?
Crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, I meant
they're
to ask a
running
question.
double sniper, so they're gonna want the high ground
Mm-hmm.
and basically just try to
I don't
stall
know,
us
Nate.
out
Careful.
to let them
Yep, careful, we should be
hit
very
shots
close.
and whittle us down.
Exactly. Yep. What else does it mean? What is their weakness then? You said their strength, which is exactly what they're wanting to do. You're correct.
Yeah.
You dissected it correctly. What is their weakness?
Hans will be
What's the plan?
50%.
We
I
could
don't
go
know what would
underneath.
have been.
We'll have a lot of cover there.
Yeah. What would have been doing?
It's not really
how-
movement
how
because they've
much
got Lucio to help the Ana and Ryan,
Diva has
and then the three others can move around pretty easily. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. So yeah, you're right that they have double sniper. They attack us from 10,000 different angles. It sucks. It feels terrible. But their front line is pretty weak, isn't it?
Yeah.
You guys could just probably just speed boost into Ryan and uppercut his face.
Mhm.
Kree flashbang, right clicks him and he dies. They have Ryan, Diva, Lucio as a core. You guys have Ryan, Diva, Lucio, Ana, Kree as a core. All right. So they split themselves up, but they split themselves up.
Yeah.
So you guys are you guys are running a true a truer death ball. So again, it's a their comp is a weakness but also a strength. A strength but also a weakness. So if they you guys can see an opportunity to dive bomb the Rhine, you do it, So that's just also something you can look out for. 'Cause, I mean, look at this Rhine.
Crap, dude.
Look at you guys. Look at this Rhine. You guys probably wrecking me right now.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah, you call it out.
90 to now. I can't
So they peel, but
get to you yet.
Anti.
uh,
Ryan hack.
yeah, see, it happens. So I'm not sure how though, but yeah, it happens.
Hack.
Random. Kill Diva.
And what did you guys do that enabled you guys to be able to take out the Reinhardt without worrying?
I mean, we kind of just took their snipers out of play. We went inside and
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know if that was intentional, but it worked, and that's perfect, right? You, the snipers can't shoot through walls yet. I'm sure it's coming, but the Boostio, let's go.
Diva.
Yeah. And I was so proud of Katie right here. Like he saw Widow from the far left side. He saw Widow go through here and he chased her to the other side. Like I was so proud of him for that.
Lucio alone.
Like
Lucio one.
that's
Can we
freaking
get
battle Lucio there.
Lucio in.
Get on.
Yeah,
That's
top.
She just dropped.
Now count the fight. If you guys were counting at all, like you guys just want to fight and then you see this, really? 100% speed boosting these two.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, Lucio died, but still, like, this is an easy fight win right here. It's an easy fight. We missed our opportunity. But that was an
Careful. I have
easy
plus one, so
2v4.
Did they use sights yet or no?
Alright, I got shattered.
no, but she'll have it. No, they don't got Widow. Yep, they don't have any DPS ults.
Yeah,
then.
good job waiting on the team.
They
This is
have
fine.
both tank ults and they have Nano and they have probably
Well, it's a
Lucio.
block. Right into that.
Yeah, Phantom is wreaking absolute havoc in their back line. Like he should.
Ah,
Yeah.
crap.
Ryan.
Mr. Translocator getting out.
Ryan low.
Alright, I'm gonna come back with EMP. We can.
Diva.
Diva one.
Anti again.
They don't got Widow. Yep, they don't have any DPS ults. Then
So, you as the
They
main
have
tank
both
can feel this
tank
the
ults and
best.
they have
You can feel
Nano
when we're
and-
losing tempo. Now the team should freaking know we lost tempo. You got Maywald off.
Yeah.
Colo straight up could have bombed right now to save. Like, if he
They
bombs here,
have
this fight 100% turns on its
problems
head.
here.
Hmm.
So let me look at where they're at. They have to back up,
Yeah.
and you just swing into it. They're all anti. If he bombs, you swing into 3 people with anti, and they're well, you are low, so
Trades
I
go.
give you didn't swing. But the bomb here would have 100% turned this fight. But it's just the fact that we're not feeling the tempo right, and it's his job as off tank to also see that. Like his job. So I'll always often describe the off tank's job as the support to the main tank. He is a support player, but he's a tank, and he's supporting his main tank. He is supposed to be mitigating damage, taking body shots for his tank. Diva boop. She has a 3-second booster now. She can boop people away from our main tank. Like that's her job. She should be doing it, but she could be able to should be able to feel the same tempo shift as you're feeling, and a good off tank eventually will be the tempo shifter, especially as Arya. Like a high shark Arya, she'll turn the fight on its head, and she knows like, and the Zaryas know when they have personal. Okay, I can turn this fight now because I have personal bubble, so I can poke real quick and kill a squish. So and so he hopefully when he listens to this he'll understand better, and you guys will start feeling it more and gelling about it more, because that was totally his fight to chimp the tempo. He straight up should have
Ryan,
bombed,
Ryan,
and that would
Ryan,
have
Ryan,
been this would not have
Ryan
happened.
low, Ryan low.
But it happens,
Alright, I'm
and
gonna come back with the MP.
everyone's learning, and we'll get there.
Hmm.
But feeling that
Okay, that's
tempo,
okay, I
feeling
can
that
keep
tempo,
up.
feeling that
Go
momentum.
time.
What did they use there? They use
They use
shit.
shatter.
Now I was getting staggered. Just wait.
Yep, good job on volatile, calling the weight. It's her job. Like to realize that Marco Diva got staggered, so we're just chilling, and it's
Alright,
good.
I'm high ground. I'm gonna try to ult them.
Alright.
Okay. We're in position.
Alright, are we ready?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Perfect.
The creep.
Dang, that was a
side.
nice plays,
On the
man.
mini.
Dude, they hit 2 or 3 this round.
Lucio.
That was perfect.
Lucio.
That's why I wanted to review it, just because I just
Free.
wanted to see it.
Stunning.
Okay.
You have speed, go for it.
I like that pin.
Make sure you keep pushing guard.
Keep going.
Yep, keep going. If they decide that they want to stay at all, like we did, yeah, just punish them.
In the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold here.
Next fight. Yep, this
I
has
got-
been 10 seconds or so that we didn't talk about the next fight. So and here they
Shatter.
are in our face, right? It's a
Mike Bloomberg.
wow.
But he's somebody who's accountable and responsible.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
so
why did
bad
I
at
get-
this.
I was gonna say, why did I get a freaking?
I don't know, man. I don't know why you got mad.
Ryan.
Just leave it in.
Yeah, I don't have line of sight. I need to push in the car.
Yep. Hold here.
Scuffed, coach. I swear.
I got shatter.
Yeah, let's
Shatter
shatter
him.
high noon.
Yep, we'll do
Yeah.
shadow. And then, shadow on noon.
Alright. That's cool. We talk about Shatter High Noon. We said Shatter a lot, but so the team also needs to know, and we also need to talk about or add when we're making our plans how we're going to make these things happen. Yeah, no, Ryan, just go find a Shatter. Yeah, just Shatter. Just press Q. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, just land a 6-man, easy Shatter. No, they need to help you figure out how to Shatter. Right? You can't just make the play happen. That's not how main tanking works. Let's break Ryan's shield. Hey, that sounds good. We can easily break Ryan's shield. We have a Kree whose right click does the same damage as post bomb. We have a Diva who does an insane amount of shield break up close. Yeah, we can break this Ryan shield. Or okay, maybe I'll look for a hack on that Ryan and we can shatter. I'm an insanely broken hero. I just hold right click and disable a guy all I want. Yeah. The team can help you, needs to help you find your shatter. You can't just look for shatter. That's not how this game works. So it's okay to tell your team, hey, help me, break his shield, hack him, something, and call it. Like, be decisive. Tell your team what to do. It's okay. We're all friends. We're a team. Anything that anyone says isn't offensive. shouldn't be offensive. Like we're here to try and make it work, and the team needs to learn. We can't just find chatters. We can't just find high noons. We have to help each other make it happen. Everyone plays a role in making the plan come together. Everybody.
They'll
So
probably have Blizzard, so I'll try to watch out.
Careful of Blizzard.
right, you wouldn't have had to try and guess when the Ryan was going to drop his shield. You had to guess. Like you shouldn't have to play that game. That's a mind game in and of itself between main tanks, but you shouldn't have to just do it just because no one decides to break the shield. You know.
Pack them out. Pack them out of high noon.
Nice job.
That's
May,
cool.
may,
You
may,
could have
may.
packed the Ryan as well and helped the Ryan
That's an out. That's an
find the
out.
shatter.
Two down. I think we lost it. Yeah, we lost.
Next
Back
fight.
up or die.
What do we got?
I didn't even know he was
We
there.
got it. We got the point.
Alright, next fight.
Nice.
Try fight.
Yep,
Fight.
we try fight. Try fight to pull out the Blizzard, and then we can push in with B for next.
Bye.
I don't want.
So, try fight.
Lucio's going to the back. Push now. Ryan.
Just leave no abilities.
Push this, Lucio.
Yep, huge call.
Oh, he's on the
Push up
right,
Lucio.
left side.
Huge hack and huge push.
He's dead. Ryan.
Ryan low.
One,
Ryan
res
low.
one.
We have shatter here.
Again, tempo, right? It's press W.
It
Yep,
is a
I'm
dry
looking.
fight. Dry fight.
Dry fight. So, okay.
Reloading. I'm shattered.
No ults.
That's pretty funny.
Lucio.
One, have a one. Oh, you have no heals. You have no heals.
Going there, Ano.
I'm bringing in.
I'm low. I
Ryan
can't push.
tag. Get that Ryan.
I can't push the Ryan. I'm
He's
low.
dead. He's dead.
Dead.
I'm bringing in.
Keep
Ryan. I'm
Keep
bringing in
backing,
Ryan.
Keep backing.
Alright,
I
back.
got EMP.
Left side, McCree.
Back.
Inside.
Let's
Back.
EMP bomb here.
EMP
Yeah, back up. Let's EMP bomb.
bomb.
Good job on Volatile recognizing that we should back, but
No ults.
it's more because she saw the kill feed instead of like reading tempo. I'm pretty sure.
Lucio.
One, have a one.
Right now tempo is pretty
You have no heals. You have no heals.
even.
Going there, Ano.
I'm bringing.
And just something extra to think about. So point A is, attacker advantage because of spawn. Spawn is closer, but C it's closer to the defender. So if things stall out like this on C, it's a big indicator that we probably just need it back because they're gonna have spawns coming back sooner than we will.
I'm low.
Yeah.
So
Ryan tag,
you
Ryan
need
tag.
and
Get
it's
that
like
right.
2 CP on the B point and 2 CP on attack. You need a team wipe to get it,
I can't
and
push
just like here, you need a team wipe to win
the
this.
Ryan. I'm
He's
low.
dead. He's dead.
Dead.
I'm bringing in. Ryan. I'm bringing in
Keep
Ryan.
backing. Keep backing.
Get back
I
in
got
this.
EMP.
We took too long, right? We have to finish them
Oh, left side.
or we leave
Back.
because we're never going to win the fight because they got spawns coming in quick.
Let's EMP bomb here. Yeah, back up. Let's EMP bomb.
EMP bomb.
I'll bring Ryan out. No,
Someone's
you
in
gotta
left.
bring Ryan out.
Where are they at? Your Sombra.
McCree might try to drop behind
I like to
us,
have fun.
You know.
Yep.
You're literally the invisible chick.
Alright, tell me what
All
we're
right, let's throw bomb onto cart. I'm gonna EMP on cart.
Alright.
Lucio speed up.
Kree
Alright,
looks suspicious over there.
2, 1, go.
Free behind.
Got him.
You guys ganked that Kree so hard.
May.
That's some pretty quick reaction time.
1, go.
Free behind.
Hell yeah, Nox. Like, he turned around so quick.
Got him.
May on cart.
Go for blue.
You got him.
Ryan.
Run. Run dead.
Get that May, get that
May,
May.
May.
That's how you take point C as a team
Nice.
wipe.
Hacking
Lucio
Lucio.
coming in.
I'm gonna high noon.
Cree.
It's on me. Nice.
A really good job overall. You guys are getting you guys are fun to watch. But yeah, That's it for me. I'm gonna go watch some Overwatch League.